So anyway, as you can see, yes, I am playing, or I'm planning on playing, the original Super Mario Bros. For the NES. This was released in 1985 by Nintendo. It was the game that supposedly saved the video game market in North America and revolutionized the concept of home gaming, or home video gaming. And we are about to play it right now. Also, as a quick little side joinder to all this, I must let you know that I'm actually not very good at all at this game. I'm pretty bad. I'm gonna try to be doing this legitimately, you know? I mean, I'm gonna try not to immediately go to all the warp zones and all the different ways to, like, skip over a bunch of levels, because I want to try to give you all the full experience of playing this game. Anyway, give me the star. There we go. Okay, now move, Mario, move. So, essentially, what this is... Hi, Let's Talk Games 3, 2, 1. Things are moving smoothly. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm kind of having trouble hearing myself over the audio. But that may just be my headphones. So I'm going to turn the sound down on my headphones and continue playing. So anyway, I'm doing quite well. Let's Talk Games 3, 2, 1. I'm just sitting here chilling. It's a nice May afternoon. The sun is shining and it's a bit windy. It's been kind of storming a little bit, but you know, hey, sometimes things like that just happen. It's called weather and you can never predict it. Well, I tried. I try. Game's a little louder than the mic though. Okay, I'll fix that fast. So yes, you will now see my total lack of proficiency in a game made over 30 years ago. Which, you know, is the great joke about... well, there went that potential. That just out the window. You know, the great irony, and also the great irony of me being on a show called Jacob's Gaming Weekend is that I am by no stretch of the imagination a gamer in any sense of the word. So really, it's just me doing silly things and hopefully trying to be funny. So essentially, no, I haven't. I've tried many times. I can get up to World 8 if I warp zone it, but I have never beaten it. I'm not very good at older games. The difficulty curve is much... I hate even where I'm going with that sentence. I don't even like where I'm going, but, like, I think people have talked about it before that it... The difficulty curve is different on the classic NES games because they were trying to really get people staying in the house and playing those old classics, which we know and love today. I was about to go back and attack that red Koopa, and then I realized that my pride was not worth it. So, no, I haven't beat the game, no. And the goal for this long task I've set upon myself is that hopefully at some point I will be able to beat this game, maybe even legitimately. Bowser! Except it's not really Bowser, because if I had a fire flower, we'd all know that that's actually a Goomba. No one in my friend group, I think, is speedrunner status. I think the only thing I can plausibly speedrun, honestly, is, if I'm really going for it, is, like, Sly Cooper 1. I can get that done in, like, 2 hours. But even then, I'm kind of out of practice with it, which is why I had Sly Cooper 1 be the first thing I played on the gaming weekend when I kicked the show off, because I was like, well, I know that game really well, and I know that I can get it done really fast, so that'll be what I do to open up proceedings. I mean, man, people are insane at, like, all things. It's dedication. They're chess savants as well. You know, like, there are those, people who, like, can play mad, crazy chess games and do incredible at it, and, there's, like, the ones who, I don't know where I'm going with that point. What I'm saying is that there are people who are proficient in all things, and, there are people who are proficient in, the classic Mario, and that's their stock and trade, and I'm certain it gets them very far. It's like everyone's got their talent, and this is definitely not mine. Okay, trampoline physics, awkward physics. Okay, there we go. Well, time to kick into everyone's favorite realm of the land of the water level. Alright, well, at least that one blew by real fast and quick and easy. So, we're making good progress. World 2-4, we're already, like, what is this, like a quarter of the way through the game, I guess, would be? Because, there's 8 worlds, so yeah, we're already, like, 25% through this thing. Maybe the pressure of feeling like I need to be entertaining. Maybe the pressure of feeling like I have to entertain people will help. Spoke too soon. Now, there is a way, right, to continue if you hold select and then hit start, right? Oh, no. Okay, it's BA. Start, right? BA, start. Well, never mind. I don't know. We're starting from the beginning again. This might be the only excuse I give myself for using warp zones, is if we get to a world and then we don't have to play for it. Because that is why, I mean, let's talk, whoever that was is already left, but, yeah, the main reason why I've never beaten this game is because if I game over, then it's a start from the beginning, and that is annoying as all hell. So, it's like one of those things, like, I don't want to be, like, stuck in this continual loop of playing the same levels again and again and again. A, because, it'll be very boring to watch, and B, because I don't think that actually progresses anything as far as skill. Like, okay, you learn, like, World 1, like, no one's business, and then you just have that memorized forever in your head, but if you don't, like, everyone kind of knows World 1-1 by now, right? Like, everyone does. We've had, like, 34 years of this game to know what you're supposed to do at that part of the game. It's like one of those things, like, repeating World 1 again is not, like, doing that is not going to increase my skill at the game any more so than it would if I actually knew what I was doing or paid attention to the game. Like, what would actually improve my skills if I kept, like, going over World 2 at least, and then would keep doing that level again and again, and then finally would develop a memory of the level to the point where I know what I'm doing. But that isn't really accomplished when you're playing the same, run of levels again and again, waiting to get to the one that's going to actually progress you forward in, gameplay. So, as far as that is concerned, I would say that it's just one of those things where I'm, like, doing this, but not to, like, do the easy, quick, fast swish through. It's one of those things, like, I'm doing that in order to get back to where I should be. But I know that there is some cheat code that exists within the game that you can use to, like, continue instead of restarting over and over again, because that's the main reason why I haven't beaten the game. I would, obviously, if I had the time to dedicate to it, I would try to beat this game, because it's an, ultra omega classic. Not omega, it's an alpha classic. But, I hate that phrase, it's an alpha classic, alphas. But it is, it's like one of those things that, like, was the big, it's like the Sgt. Pepper of video games, it sort of defined what video games can be, and it, like, lays the groundwork for all that comes later. But, that being said, oh, well, look at this, oh, well, look at that stuff, ain't it neat? It's one of those things like, okay, the game defines, like, a genre, and it lays the groundwork for a whole new industry to come up in its wake, but I respect it on that level, but it's also, like, it's not my favorite Mario game, and I actually I don't think it's anyone's favorite Mario game, because the Mario series then innovated so much later on as well that it's like, okay, yes, this game accomplished so much, and it's like a important historical artifact that should be, remembered forever as a pop culture icon. But it also, like, it's been outdone many times in the past. I mean, like, you're already seeing here, too. We're, like, at the point where, like, you get hit once and then you lose, like, not only the Fire Flower, but also your height advantage. And so that means that if you ever get hit again, then it's, like, one-hit kill, and, sometimes the power-ups are sparse, like in a level like this one. And that's also combined with the inability to move left at all, because once the screen moves, you can't go backwards at all. And, I mean, it's like one of those things where it just is... Like, there's flaws to the game, and definitely a major one is the fact that should you game over, then you're unable to really continue from where you left off, which later Mario games always kind of gave you the option to do that, even as far back as Mario 3, at least, I would say they weren't, like, trying to impress upon you that you must always restart from the beginning again and again and again. I mean, the NES didn't have a save function unless if you were, like, playing one of those, like, battery pack games like Legend of Zelda and stuff like... They were waiting for me on that one. I know the methodology with this is that you just run and never stop. You like the background, by the way? It's the original Mario Bros. Japanese box art for the Famicom disc. I felt that it was fitting, instead of having these ugly black bars on the side of the screen, when you can't even see my face either. So it was like, okay, well, it would be a very minimalist presentation if I don't put something back here, and I haven't really developed, like, a sort of... We haven't designed yet any, like, sort of 4x3 aspect banner sort of thing. Like, if you think about it, the last 4x3 series that's been going on has been the SpongeBob one, and for that one I've been using a background of, like, the main Bikini Bottom neighborhood thing. So, for this, I'm using Mario's box art, which I probably will do in the future as well, but, it's hard to crop that, mind you, but, you work with what you got. Okay, that was, like, really distracting. For a second there, I saw both the feed of the stream and the game at the same time, and I was, like, a bit kerfluffled, spatially. Alright. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna place my bets now, folks, which is gonna be that in the time that I have to do this show, you are not gonna be really seeing me, succeed at... not gonna really see me succeed too greatly at this game. It's gonna be pretty much... You get what you got. Alright, and... I mean, and as long as, like, people are entertained, I'm happy. But, like, we will probably be at this for a while. And I guess I should talk to you about the title of the stream, which is, Reviving the Mario Marathon. So, as some of you, longtime viewers may recall, recently we were doing a, like, a couple of years ago, back when Serenade of Caffeine was, like, Nick and a million other people, I was on Serenade of Caffeine as a cast member, or as a, like, sort of supporting cast member for, like, a couple of weeks. It was not long, and I did not record much, and it was pretty chaotic when I was on the show, but, I pretty much tried to use it as an opportunity to, like, get out a bunch of ideas that I'd been sitting on for, like, years and years and years, and one of them was that I wanted to do a long marathon of just the entire Mario series, because it's my personal favorite video game franchise. And I really, really wanted to do that, and Nick was for it, and then we got up to the first two arcade games, and then Nick restructured Serenade of Caffeine in a major way, and I wasn't a part of that, which was fine. But it was one of those things like then a bunch of things got either put on the shelf or I just scrapped because I didn't want to do them again. I thought they wouldn't be as funny the second time around. So, what this essentially is that I'm now taking advantage of the fact that we're doing this new Streaming Sundays thing, and I'm going to try to do the Mario Marathon here, because I think it would actually be really unentertaining to do a long stream of just nothing but Mario on the channel as edited videos, because it's a weekend show and not a daily show. And if we can't really blow through it like fast, then at that point we've just become the Mario channel, and I know I don't really want that, and I highly doubt Nick really wants that. We want to be varied in the kind of entertainment we provide to people, so I just figured, well, alright, if we're not going to do this as, whatever. If we're not going to do this as a video series of edited things, I think the best maneuver would be to try to do it as a live stream thing, which is what this is. So the goal will be to hopefully get to a point in this game where we've really seen all that there is to see. I think the difference with the arcade games is that we got through the story. The difference was that with the arcade games, they were, like, by nature, repetitious. So say, for example, we got through the story of Donkey Kong. Like, we were playing the North American version, so it was not a hard endeavor to see the story of Donkey Kong. But we got through the entirety of the story of Donkey Kong, and saw practically all the levels sans the like cement block conveyor belt one. And so I felt like we'd pretty much accomplished all we were going to accomplish in Donkey Kong, and Mario Bros is just a brawler kind of video game, so it wasn't like we were going to be really like missing anything if we didn't get like deep into the levels. I'm certain there were like enemies that we didn't see, but like by the time we would have seen them, it would have been just me and like fighting against them, and I'm again not a spectacular virtuoso at video games, so I figured that okay, like just watching me fail at the original Mario arcade game was not going to be an entertaining video either. So instead, let's work with what we got and try to just move on and do the things that people actually would want to see in a Mario Marathon, which is the platformer games. So I think what'll probably happen, I've never been able to figure out how to do the Infinite Lives glitch, so I'm not going to try. I think now that we're getting into like the core games and like the ones that everyone remembers and praises and, you know, like has fond memories of, I think now that we're in that, we're going to try to actually beat them, get through the stories at least. But we'll see what we do there. And even with that being said, I mean, there are games in the Mario Marathon that I don't want to touch because I've already played them and talked about them, and I don't think I will top what I did when I did them before. So instead of running the risk of doing something again, but less effectively, I'd much rather just, you know, kind of do my own thing. Well, we're getting farther than we have before. We're now at World 3-3, so this will be like, you know, we're already like over 25% done with the game, and if we get to the end of World 4-4, then we'll already have like finished half of it, so I'll be satisfied. And I know that it's supposed to be like, okay, and then you do it again on the harder difficulty, and that's when it's the real end of the game, but that's arcade, you know, extension stuff. I'm not into that. We'll do like the one go around and then we'll call it there. Move through that. Oh, Mushu. Oh, what the? Okay. Alright, and that should be. Oh, but see, and therein lies a major issue with this game, right? And is that, like, okay, so it would be one thing if it's like, ah, oh, man, I screwed up that level, I had to, or, like, start back from the opening of the world, right? That's one thing. It's quite another thing to then be like, well, no, you have to restart the entirety of that game again, right? That doesn't fly today, and rightfully so. It's quite obnoxious, and doesn't really add to anything gameplay-wise. It just sort of elongates a game, which, you know, in the 80s you wanted to do because it was the 80s. But now we're in the 2010s and the competition is much more fierce. And if you're going to be revisiting classic games like these, you kind of want to, you know, do it. Whoa! I got that before it even fully rose. Phrasing. I almost got that continue code to work correctly. I think what I needed to do is just not let go of A and B until I'd finally gotten it. But we'll see. Obviously, don't arrest me, but obviously I'm not playing this on a real NES. I mean, Nick owns, question mark, an NES, because I don't know if he still owns it, but he has one. But, like, that, to actually play this on an NES and then get it hooked up to a capture card, A, I can't even conceive of. But B, also, like, that's a whole system involving coaxials, and the technology of the NES is not really suited to capture card stuff. And, I mean, aside from the Virtual Console, which, like, my Wii pretty much doesn't work anymore. I don't even think, I don't have my Wii, actually, anymore, because I gave it to Lucas Reveal from the Lazy Players, and then he either never gave it back, or I just, like, said to him to take it, and so I don't really remember what the answer to that scenario is, but I do know that I definitely don't have my Wii anymore, and so if I was going to try to do it, I'd have to do it through the Wii U, which is, like, everyone's favorite Nintendo console. And also, like, my Wii remotes pretty much don't work anymore either, so, like, it's just a cavalcade of failure that's befitting me today. Not today, just this stream. We'll see how far we get. If I get at least, like, to World 4 by the end of the stream, then I'll be pretty satisfied. I will have no complaints, honestly. Because that'll be, you know, that'll be suitable. I'm such a video game plebeian. That'll probably be what stops this stream channel from being popular, is that I am not at all a Game Boy. I am a game sass. You know, what does a game sass means? It means you play video games to sass people off and not to actually be good. Which, like, there are much more effective ways that you can sass someone off than playing video games, but you kind of get my goat, and that's what's important. And the main lesson here is what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, honestly, is that if you could bring my goat back, I would be most appreciative. I've been using the goat to try to mow my lawn. It's eaten up my garden, which is kind of an unfortunate side effect, but, you know, well, those were all nonsense consonants, but hey, you know, sometimes the world is a nonsense continent. Oh, did I get wise in 20 seconds? The answer, unequivocally, is no. I did not get wise in 20 seconds, I just got profoundly dumb. But the important thing was that even in my stupidity, it was profound stupidity. Okay, now if I can hold on to this, it changes virtually nothing. But at least that, jump it. Okay. The concern is real on my end. I shouldn't be messing with the fates, and yet I am. Okay, wow, alrighty. We did it, folks. We've made it to World 4. if I know this is where I'm gonna start failing, but, you know, if I can actually get to a point when I feel comfortable and secure in my life, then I will be quite happy. Okay, now, let's just get these out of the way. Let's clear a path. And Lucky 2 is gonna be following us through the thick and thin. He's a friend in that sense. Alright. If I can just be able to get the reflexes right on the... Nope. The answer was nope. I could not get the reflexes right on the... I just had to accept that my reflexes were none. And brrrg. I mean, if we get to the end of World 4, that's halfway done. That is halfway done, kids. We're currently, like... You know, what's half of 25? Like... 12 and a half. So we're like at least 38% done with the game by now. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment to be 38% done with a game. Keep on skipping levels, it makes life easier. Okay, no. No, okay, well, we need to kind of get back down there. Oh! You've seen through my ruse. I couldn't have expected this. Well, at least I'm back in land. That suits me. That's my fault. That's totally on me. I think what I will probably have to end up doing, unless people get really angry with me for cheating the system a little bit, but this is gonna be something that eventually happens, and I know of this, is that I'll just have to do, like, save state at each world, at, like, the start of each world, and then dependent on whatever my stats are is how I enter each world. You know, because I don't want this to be, like, the World 1 and World 1-2 stream. That would be dull, and I've said that, you know, but I'm trying my best. This is the first time I've really been able to just stream of conscious talk for a while on this show. I think normally I try to rely on others these days to do the commentary for me. But then, you know, I mean, maybe it's the game, you know, maybe it's the game I'm playing that decides on whether or not I'm actually good at speaking or stretching in a video. You know, this one is pretty simplistic. There's not too many layers you have to really pick apart to play Super Mario 1. Oh no, he's a failure once more. You know, I mean, it's like one of the things, like, you can actually kind of shut your brain off while playing this, and I don't think it would affect things too much. Not any more than it would if you were like, I mean, I guess it just, it takes the attention away, I guess, would be what happens, but... Oh, I could have done this the whole time. Well, butter me sideways. I did not know this. Let's try to get some money. Alright, there we go. And now, we're moving. Now we've progressed. Alright, and... Oh! I'm glad that we're kicking off on a high note on that level. Definitely starting off strong. We've worked all our lives to try to get up to this point, and then we're just gonna fail immediately. That will be very much how typical things get typically arranged, you know. But, you know, as long as every lemon gets its happiness, then that will be enough for me and Sally Lee. Okay, now, if I could not jump into the pit. Alright! 4-4. This is practically like 48% now. We're making it. We are doing good. If we have, I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll go longer if I'm, like, really feeling confident about my game ability. But that is almost never something that happens. Oh, this is the maze. This is the maze level. Right. Okay. So then it's moved down here. Correct? Holy Holy schlammacow, I cannot believe I pulled that off in one go, and we're 50% done. Halfway. Wow, I cannot believe I memorized that maze. Wow. Because that's the castle that loops around if you don't move in the correct orientation. And I somehow had it imprinted in my brain exactly the way to move. I'm certain I would have probably done it wrong the first go around, but like I just was kind of moving on autopilot. So I guess I knew what I was supposed to. I shouldn't have been buggering around with that Koopa. I should have just let it go, and now I'm paying the risk. Oh, but look at this now. We've got a difference here. We've now got star power. Star power. Hit me with that star power, boyo. Are we already at 5? Oh, wow. This is moving faster than I would have expected, I must say. I did not expect to get to 5-1 in 43 minutes. Or 5-2, I should say. And I still don't expect myself to get to 5-2 in... Oh! I hit it at the right time. Okay. Everyone's favorite thing. Going up against a hammer bro without... Yeah. Without a mushroom. Especially that one, because that one just straight up, that has to be death, right? That just is, like, immediate destruction and sadness. Alright, let's go here. One of these has to be a mushroom, right? One of these has to be a mushroom. Good. Okay, because now we can kind of suicide our way through that. Or we can jump right on through to the other side. Amazing. It's one of those things like when I'm not expecting myself to do good, suddenly the skill enters into it. And I don't know why that is. Oh, I don't even know how I got you, but I did. And I'm glad I did. Wow, this is just a series of luck events happening right now. Because I'm not even attempting to pretend that I'm competent. Oh man, I'm sucking my own exhaust now, and that's dangerous. But oof, but I am also like not dying, and I am quite happy that I'm not dying. And so best to keep this gravy train a rolling, and I can just alright. And then you're gonna jump down there. And that should be right at the end. Ooh, Lord. This is not going bad. I'm not upset with this. I don't normally get upset at Mario, but I'm not upset with the pace I'm at right now. I gotta tell you, this is... And the reality, too, is that this is practically just World 1 again, but now with bullets and smaller platforms. So, okay, whoa, Trixie, let's get this. Can I? Yeah, I can, baby. Because that's actually something I learned. So, something I once tried to do during the big time when Mario Maker 1 was popular, which, not saying it isn't still popular, is that I was trying to make essentially in the Mario Maker engine combined with the Mario U palette. I wanted to make an HD remake of the first game. And what I realized is that actually by the time we get to World 5, the levels loop in on themselves and they just become copies of what they were before, but just slightly harder. So that's what this is. Except I'm certain that things are different, and nope, that was just death. That was just straight up death. That was, I should have, just go with gut instinct, and happiness will be your reward. Oh my, oh my, oh my. How simply splendiferous this is. Okay, now, let's try for the good warp zone. Not the bad one, because there is a one that's unimpressive here. I'm talking about the one that gets you places. Or actually, I guess that I guess we're going for World 5, aren't we? Yeah, so we should go for the bad one, because the good one gets us, like, to World 6, and we're not aiming for World 6 just yet. We will at some point in our lives. But now, this is not the time. So instead, we're just aiming for World 5. World 5 away to a better day. That's what I've gotta say. World 5. Yep. Alright, let's go. Well, let's go. So now we're back where we were before, and with considerably more advantage in some sense. And maybe that actually should... Maybe that's like the good example of why save stating on this game might actually be to your disadvantage, or even continuing in this game could be to your disadvantage. Because if you can work out that warp zone thing real well, you can enter into this with like... I started talking and thinking and not playing. I have to think to play or make this entertaining, but I need to know to balance the two out as well. Whoa. It doesn't help either, and I don't know if it's showing up on stream, but like the characters keep kind of flickering in and out of existence, and it makes it profoundly much more difficult to judge what jump you're supposed to be taking it at. But this is pretty much the same status that we were at before, so with that in mind, let's enter into World 5-2. Now that is gonna just blow your load. There you go. Great, fantastic. Fantabulous. Okay, and then before I head over there, you have a super mushroom for me. Yeah, give me that. Give me that. Good. Clack-a-lacka-lacka-lacka-flacka-lacka-lord. Alright, well, I think this is pretty much where I was at before anyway. Alright, and now I'm having difficulty taking on the Hammer Bros, and that is going to be my downfall, and I can foresee it now. I'm not a soothsayer, but I've been told to soothe the soul a fortnight ago. It was many a wander. Okay. Stream of conscious sentence. It streams so sweetly. Alright, now that the Buzzy Beetle just hit him and touching swift away. If it is, okay, now, and then propositions and prepositions all day. Okay, fantabulous. This is what's called not caring what you say. It's a good way of improv if you can just know that words exist and you can get your throat and mouth to make what sound like words and sentences. If there is no coherence, that's fine, because, you know, they get what you mean, and they mean what you get. And as long as you just keep doing that, you will be fine in the Let's Play community. You know, I mean, I like the intellectual episodes of the Gaming Weekend, but I also recognize that, you know, sometimes what's funny, at least on my solo Let's Plays, are the ones where I just am not even trying to make a shred of sense. I can probably get that mushroom if I get it. Yeah, haha. Alright, now, the motorcade is moving on without the parade. Alright. So, whoa, you tried, but you couldn't grab the tomato if you tried. Okay. So we're gonna try for this again. If I die here, because I'm on one life, if I die here, then I'm probably gonna call off the stream. I'm satisfied with how far we've gotten. And if we... Well, thank you so much for coming to the stream. It's been a good one. I'm satisfied with how things turned out. 5-4. That's pretty. We got over halfway there.